What's going on, everyone? Really excited to be doing another quick tutorial for you here today. Nice basic one using the Go programming language. We're going to build a stopwatch. So it's going to help us to learn a little bit about how we manage time within both Go, and maybe the end result will help you manage time in your life. I don't know. Let's just try and grasp at as many straws as we can, and then we'll jump into it. So let's start off. I've set up a file, it's called main.go, you can call yours whatever you want to call it, and we're going to start by setting up the basic structure. So we'll start off by declaring that we have our main package. We are going to import our libraries that we're going to use, so we're going to use buff.io, so buffer.io for capturing our inputs. We're going to use FMT for sending our outputs. We're going to use OS for interacting with the core system. And time, because we're going to be managing time. We're working on our time management skills here today. Now, we're going to set up a struct for our timer. So we'll go type timer struct. And we are going to say start time is a time, and we will set a boolean value for is it running bool. Excellent. All right, now we've got that. We'll set up our main function nope, just func, because we're getting funky. Main and timer, and we will initialize a blank timer. So when we use this notation, we are setting a variable and we're initializing it to something immediately upon using it, in this case, a timer. Now, let's do our start timer functionality, shall we? Get funky with it again. So this is setting up our function. T is how we're going to refer to our timer within this function. And we're passing it a pointer to our timer struct so that it knows what that structure is for T within our function. We've called it start. So within our start function, what are we doing? We're going to say if t.running, I'm going to print a line saying, hey, timer already running, and then break out. If it's not already running, we'll go t.start time equals time now to grab the current time. Ooh, I am struggling right now. Perfect. And we'll go t running equals true. So we've got our running value here, t.running, so we're talking about our timer instance. Got a running value here, so we're checking if it's currently set to running. Cool. Otherwise, we're going to set it to running after we set a start time for that. Now, we'll also set up a function here to calculate the duration. So we'll get funky. We'll grab a timer. We'll call this one elapsed time dot duration, and if the timer isn't running, so we're checking if the value is not true there, return 0. Otherwise, return time since t dot start time. So this is all built-in, awesome functionality in the time library that we've included up here. It's pretty cool. Alright, so now we can work out, we can start the timer, we can work out how long the time has been running. Let's stop the timer. So we'll get funky with it. Once again, we'll grab our instance of the timer structure, call this one stop, and we'll check if the timer is running. So if the timer is not running, we're going to say print, no we're not, say format print line timer is not running. Then we'll return to breakout. Otherwise, we'll say t.running equals false. So we're going to stop the timer, and we will say format print line timer has been stopped. Awesome. So now we've got a way to start, a way to check the duration, and a way to stop. But how do we reset it? We'll get funky. We will refer to our timer as t, create a reset function, and we will grab our start time, and we will say time. We will set our running to false, and we will send a message. Format print line timer reset. Wonderful. That's a nice easy one. I like that one. Alright, now let's look at how we're going to display the elapsed time. So, funky with it. Display elapsed time. This one we don't need a pointer, we're just going to grab a copy of where we're up to. Format printf /r elapsed time. Suggests we're going to refer to a string, and that string is going to be format duration for t dot elapsed. Now, we've called a function there, format duration. So let's build the function. We'll get funky with it again. Format duration. D is time.duration. String. And here's how we're going to make it look a little bit pretty. So we're going to create hours. So int d.hours. Hours. Yes, hours. Wonderful. Minutes. Int d.minutes. So we're taking our duration, the minutes value, and we're saying, hey, cool, calculate the remainder divided by 60 for minutes. And then we're going to go seconds. So seconds, int d seconds, percentage 60, sprintf percentage O2D percentage O2D D percentage O2D. Now we're doing that to say, hey, we always want this to be a digit, an integer that is 2 characters long. So in the event that it is 1 second, it is 0.1 second, not just 1 second. And we're going to pass in hours, minutes, seconds, and close that off. Awesome. All right, let's link it all together with our main function. So in our main function here, we create our timer as timer. We're going to create a scanner. Buffer input output dot new scanner. Take the OS input, and we are going to create a ticker. It's getting exciting, right? Time dot new ticker time second. Excellent. All right. Now, go get funky. So when we go get funky, what we're doing is running a concurrent function. So rather than necessarily waiting for this to be done, this runs in parallel with the rest of the code. And what we're going to do, we're going to actually have the ticker running in real time. So for ticker.c, so we're saying here, receive the value of ticker.c. So it's sending in the value, and ticker is a type in Go's time package that sends a signal on a channel at a regular interval. So you can use it for scheduling periodic events. And this receive operator will block until a value is available. So, and then it assigns the received value to whatever technically is next to it, but in this case it's just going to grab the time for us. And then we will display elapsed time timer. So we can keep displaying the time in real time. Alright, so we've done our go get funky, and we'll go for, and then we'll do our menu. So format, print, line, I'm going to use this a lot, so I'm going to copy and paste. Our first one is going to be go time. I'm going to call it go time. Alright, cool. Now we've got our go time. I'll have another menu item, so one is going to be start. 2 is going to be stop. 3 is going to be reset. 4 is going to be exit. Exit. And then we're going to say, hey, choose an option. Maybe use print instead of print line. Each one of these will drop a new line at the end, whereas this one we're going to leave it to capture the scanner input. Scanner.scan directly at the end of this line. So rather than dropping down to a new line, I think it just looks cleaner. Option is going to be what we take away from it. So we'll grab the scanner.text, so grab the input. Now from there we'll start a switch statement, so we can choose between our different options. Switch based on option. In the case that it is 1. Nope, in the case that it's 1. We want to call timer.start. In the case that it is 2. We want to timer.stop. We want to learn to type correctly, timer.stop. In the case that they select 3, we want to timer.reset. In the case that they choose 4, we will just return to break out of our for loop and close, so return. And otherwise, sort of default catch-all to say format.print line, capital P, case sensitive, that no valid option has been selected. Because, you know, let's be as verbose as possible. Now, I think, which is dangerous, I think we're ready to go. Should we try it out? I think we try it out. Alright, do you know what that means? That means it's go time. So we'll cd into go time yourself, because that's what I initially thought I was going to call it, and then forgot. But we'll go run main go, because I've called it main.go. Alright. Ooh, go time. Alright. Now, something is not quite right here, but let's enter our input. No, this is not working right. Control C. Oh, okay, well, I mean, like, it thought about it. We're not seeing choose an option. Well, I mean, we did, but our elapsed time was sitting over at the top of it, which is not where I want our elapsed time to be. So, let's have a look at what's gone wrong there. I've actually moved this file, so I'm going to reopen it. Perfect. Now let's take a look at our main function. I think that looks alright. Let's look at how we're doing our elapsed time. Alright, I think our ticker may be causing us some headaches here. So, let's try a different approach. Instead of that, we'll take our existing for loop. Actually, jump in here, last print equals time dot now. Now, in here, if timer dot running now time dot now, if now is after our last print value, add 1 times second. And then set last print to now. And then we'll call our display elapsed time timer. Alright, and then in our displaying function, yeah, okay. Let's give this a go. Alright. Alright, start our timer. Yeah, it's not iterating, is it? If we stop. Start. No, this is no good. So now, if we hit 1 again, the timer is running. We know the timer's running. If we tell it to start again, it says, and those timers are already running. But we're only showing, well, we're updating our elapsed time, but we're only showing it every time the menu is refreshed. Alright, so a bit more for play. And the other method we were using wasn't getting things up and running how I wanted them to. It wasn't going to be updating the timer for us. So we've gone back to a ticker approach. So we've created a new ticker, updating every second. We're using our go get funky, and then we're using select statement. In fact, we don't need the select statement. It's just one option. But for the ticker, we're using the display update. Now I'm not sure why this now sort of works but didn't work before, but I've given it a few tests. Now it's not the most elegant solution in the world, I'm not going to lie. We'll start this from the beginning. I'm not heaps happy with our output, but I think without getting too complex in terms of the UI setup, I want to keep these reasonably simple. This is going to be one of the better options that we've got. So right now we've got our menu, you can choose time, elapsed time is set to 0, we hit 1. Awesome, it's going to reload and it's going to start ticking through. And ticking through and ticking through. It's going to work. You want to stop it, hit 2. Perfect. Now, the main drawback here is that it looks like it was 72 seconds because it throws our input on the end of the timer. With the exception of that, I think this works pretty well. So we'll try again, we'll start. Ticking away, ticking away, ticking away. Stop. Start. Stop. Oh, reset. There we go. So, it works. It's not our best solution. I think we're going to have another crack at this one. I think we're going to do a different video that's going to be a bit more complicated, and we might pull in some different libraries for how we can be handling the sort of CLI UI components a bit better, or maybe we'll look at doing something with a proper web front end. But as far as doing a fairly simple stop-start timer, this is going to get us going. I'd like to actually do like a Pomodoro timer project on here. That could be a bit of fun. So look, if you've liked this, give it a like. Any questions, drop them down in the comments below. Feedback, always welcome. Still getting used to this whole YouTube thing, learning lots. If you want to stay up to date with what's going on, perhaps check out those follow-up videos where we take this and take it up to sort of the next level of complexity. Subscribe to the channel, hit the little bell icon if you want to get notified when we release new videos. Until next time, have a good one.